Our friends at Ride1up just sent us their new Portola foldable electric bicycle. It's a 750 watt, and it's really interesting. This could be a class 1, 2, or 3, depending on the settings, and I'll show you that in a little bit. A lot of fun to ride. It's got 3-inch tires for just about any type of terrain and front fork suspension. It's got a nice rack on the back that holds up to about 130 pounds, so you can make some deliveries on this thing. It's a good-looking bike. Comes in 3 different colors and a couple of different battery sizes, which is another interesting option. And again, it's foldable, so you can throw it in the back of your SUV and pretty much take it anywhere, and that's really a nice option. All right, so it comes in this smaller box, one of the smallest boxes I've ever seen. The bike itself weighs about 59 pounds, and it's amazing how they've gotten this 95% assembled in the box. Here's everything you need. You've got your instruction manual, you've got your toolkit, all the tools you're going to need to assemble this thing. You really need 2 wrenches. Here's your battery charger, everything included, and they sent a hat. Now, when they send you swag, you must instantly put it on, and that's what I do every time I get swag from a bike manufacturer. So thanks for the hat. I'm liking that. All right, so we pulled it out of the box, and the easiest way to get this set, instead of deadlifting it, just lay the box on the ground and pull it out, slide it out. Cut all the packing materials. Here's a really interesting step-by-step instruction, a graphically illustrated instruction manual how to put this thing together. But again, I'd say it's even more than 95% assembled, as you'll see that in a second. Just take all the packing materials off. This is really the hardest part, taking all the packing materials. It was very, very superbly packed, to the point where it couldn't even get scratched because they've covered everything in all the right places. So again, it comes folded, which is really neat. So you just fold it or unfold it, however you want to say that, put it back together, launch your fingers in there, just clip everything back, and you are ready to put the rest of it together. So really all you need to do is attach the handlebars and fold out the pedals. No big deal too, and they fold too, which saves a couple inches. Here's your toolkit. Again, a couple of Allen wrenches is really all you're gonna need. I think I used 2 of them. That's really all I needed to put this thing together. So the first thing you do is take the cap off the handlebar tube, and that's in there pretty tight. So you're gonna have to give it a little elbow grease to loosen that up and pull that off. And unscrew that, hold that for a second. You don't need the ring underneath. You could just toss that. I'm gonna use it for arts and crafts. Who knows what I could use that for? And then you just put the handlebars on. Now they're already folded. This folding mechanism is at the bottom of this thing, and it's kind of weird. You can't fold it or unfold it, however you're looking at it, without putting it on the stem. So you just pop it on there, and then you can fold it backwards. There's a little silver button in the front, and you just press that button and the whole thing folds back, giving you access to what you need to be able to screw that cap back on there. So use your little 5mm Allen wrench and screw that in there. Not super tight right away, because you need to make sure that the handlebars are lined up fairly properly. And you'll have a couple different chances to do this. It's no big deal. So tighten it pretty tight, but not super tight. You're going to tighten it up to where it should be tightened in a second. So give yourself a little bit of adjustment here so you can twist that and make sure that's in the right direction. Facing the front, make sure your brakes are on the outside. Believe me, we've probably all made that mistake. And that's it. We're just going to unfold that again and tighten that up real good. Make sure she is in there nice and firm, because when you're riding your bike, you don't want your handlebars to go sideways, because that never ends well for anyone. Been there, done that as well, okay? You don't want that kind of fun, if you know what I mean. And there's 2 little bolts on the side. You're going to tighten those up as well to make sure that handlebar assembly is nice and tight and it's not going anywhere. Again, just make sure it's all lined up properly, and it's pretty simple to do. And make sure that's super tight. So you're going to lock that into place. This is also your folding and unfolding mechanism here too. Real simple to use. So there we go. We just kind of mess around with it a little bit. Make sure she's not coming apart. Make sure there's no play in those handlebars, and they look awesome. The other thing I need to do is just tighten up the controller. It comes kind of loose on my handlebars. It might not be on yours, but just tighten that up and get that at the angle where it looks most comfortable for you. And just tighten up the seat. That's it. Put it as high as you want. I was amazed how high this seat goes. I mean, you could probably be 6'2" and ride this comfortably. I was really impressed how high that seat went, and that's pretty amazing. So I'm just under 6 feet and put it up somewhere around there, and I'm good to go. And there it is, the Ride1up Portola. This is a sea turquoise color. It comes in a blackish and a dark blue. Some kind of funny names for those colors too, so you get a couple different color choices. The keys are only needed for removing the battery. That's all you need to do, removing and locking down the battery. So we're going to take the battery. You can see it's in the locked position. Put the key in there. Just going to turn it to the right, and you can lift it out. Now, this is interesting. It comes in 2 different flavors. There's a $100 price difference between the 10.4 amp hour and the 13.4. So if you want to go a little bit further, a little bit longer, spend the extra $100, get the 13.4. I have the 10.4, and that's really all I need. We do short trips around the neighborhood here. So you're going to plug it in. There is a pretty good charge from the factory. A full charge from almost empty is probably going to take somewhere between 4 to 6 hours. So just prepare for that. Now, the instruction manual says the bike will hold about 300 pounds total, and that's including the 125 pounds that you could put on the rear rack. So make sure if you put a kid back there, he doesn't weigh more than 125 pounds, you're good to go. So here's your controller. You can cycle through all the information, your odometer, your trip meter, your max speed, and you'll see your battery level in the upper left-hand corner, and your 5 levels of pedal assist. Now, you can set this guy to the classes we're talking about. It ships as a Class 2 bike. So some municipalities do not allow Class 3, so you can actually set this in the controller to behave as a Class 2. I wanted to set it as a Class 3 and get it all the way up to 28 miles an hour, just in pedal assist mode, not in throttle. Throttle caps out at just over 20 miles an hour. So there she is, the Ride1up Portola in sea turquoise. Let's take it out for a ride, see what this guy can do. I have to tell you, it's a pretty comfortable ride considering there's 3-inch tires and front fork suspension that you can lock out if you don't like that. But it's a pretty nice, comfortable ride. Takes most of the bumps out of the road. I took it through some grass and some dirt and gravel. Had no problems navigating those types of terrains. It's a surprisingly peppy ride too. A lot of good torque, and I got it up to about just over 20 miles an hour. I didn't take it past there, but my next ride, when we do our next video, we're going to take it all the way up to 28 and see how we can push this guy, see how far it can go. But check it out. This is the Ride1up Portola. It's a pretty nice bike at a pretty decent price.